Imagine bleeding for your city, carrying the franchise on your back, and facing the media pressure every single night, only to watch your own billionaire owner roll out the red carpet for your biggest rival. Welcome to the WNBA. What's unfolding right now isn't just basketball drama. It's a scandal that's tearing a franchise apart from the inside and exposing the darker side of professional sports. The league is no longer only about what happens on the court. It has become a ruthless world of corporate greed, locker room tension, and blatant disrespect. For years, the league begged for attention in the spotlight, and now that the spotlight is finally here, it's shining so bright that it's exposing cracks everywhere. That the center of this cultural and business earthquake are two names that have completely reshaped the sports landscape: Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But this story goes far beyond their on-court rivalry. Reports suggest that Chicago Sky ownership is making special, unprecedented, and highly controversial plans specifically to cater to Caitlin Clark, even though she plays for a rival team. In other words, they may be prioritizing business and revenue over their own star player, leaving their supposed franchise cornerstone feeling disrespected in her own arena. And while Chicago appears to be chasing the money in the spotlight, Team USA may have made one of the most arrogant and self-destructive decisions in modern sports, leading to a massive ratings collapse. If you thought the WNBA drama was already intense, this situation is on a completely different level.
In Phoenix, Arizona, is pretty dead. There's no interest without Caitlin Clark around. We got to break this thing down, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as always. Let's get right into it.
Let's be clear, no sugarcoating it. Angel Reese transformed the Chicago Sky the moment she arrived out of LSU. She didn't just bring elite rebounding and relentless energy to the Windy City. She sparked a cultural movement. Embracing the villain narrative the media tried to assign her, she absorbed relentless criticism and online vitriol while still elevating her game. In doing so, she turned a struggling, overlooked franchise into must-watch television and restored a sense of swagger and identity that Chicago basketball hadn't felt in years. Logically, any competent front office would rally around a player like that, protect her, build her brand, and establish her as the undisputed face of the organization. Instead, what's being alleged paints a very different picture. Reports suggest that Chicago Sky ownership has gone behind the scenes to orchestrate special accommodations for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever when they come to town. From VIP treatment to strategic ticketing pushes and even arena decisions designed to maximize Clark's drawing power, the focus appears to be on capitalizing on a rival's popularity rather than reinforcing their own star. If true, this goes beyond questionable management. It feels like a direct slight. It's the equivalent of welcoming your rival into your home, giving them the best room in the house, and asking your own franchise player to step aside.
The two rival squads are set to meet 3 times this season. This is not a rivalry. This is literally a beatdown. Every time the Indiana Fever sees Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, they've won 1 game in 2 years out of like 9 matchups. This is not a rivalry. This is nothing more than someone who has found a way.
You have to ask the uncomfortable question. Why would any team choose to undermine its own franchise cornerstone? Why would a billionaire owner look at a player who gives everything to the city and decide to make her a secondary character in her own arena? The answer is brutally simple and represents the ugliest side of professional sports: money. The phenomenon known as the Caitlin Clark effect has turned women's professional basketball into a modern-day gold rush, and team owners are scrambling to cash in before the moment passes. Caitlin Clark is no longer just a rookie point guard. She has become an economic engine. When the Indiana Fever come to town, ticket prices skyrocket, arenas suddenly sell out, merchandise disappears from shelves, and the entire game night becomes a major business event. Faced with spreadsheets showing massive revenue spikes, the Chicago Sky front office reportedly made a cold, calculated decision. Maximizing profit for a single night was more important than protecting the dignity, respect, and long-term loyalty of their own star player. In doing so, they may have made more money in the short term, but they risked damaging the culture, trust, and identity of the franchise for years to come.
Celebrations. The Sky announced their theme game lineup in an Instagram post. Our 2026 theme games are here. Okay, here it says the Sky's slate features several notable themes this year. Pride, Women's Cancer Awareness, Marvel Superhero Day are among the highlights. They have clearly canceled Barbie night. Angel Reese is no longer.
Now imagine the situation from Angel Reese's perspective. Since her college days, she has been under a microscope, with the media analyzing her every move, every gesture, and every word. Opposing fan bases constantly target her on social media, criticizing her game with a level of toxicity that will wear down almost anyone. She has used that criticism as motivation, stepping onto the court every night to battle in the paint, absorb physical punishment, and fight for every rebound to help Chicago win games. But after fighting the media, the fans, and opposing teams, she now finds herself in a situation where it feels like she also has to fight her own organization. The very people who sign her paycheck appear to be prioritizing the players she has been competing against so fiercely for the past 2 years. This creates a serious leadership and culture problem inside a team. How can a coach stand in front of the locker room and demand loyalty, hustle, and sacrifice when ownership has just sent the message that loyalty can be overridden by business opportunities? The message to the locker room becomes clear and potentially damaging. You are valued, but the money and attention generated by someone else may be valued more. Situations like this can create a toxic and divided environment because no player, no matter how mentally tough, should feel like they are battling opponents on the court while also feeling undermined by their own organization off the court. It highlights a growing problem in professional sports. Leagues often struggle to manage superstars, media attention, and business interests at the same time, and when handled poorly, it can damage team culture and trust for years.
The overwhelming demand by Clark's arrival, nobody else. Due to the overwhelming demand by driven by Clark's arrival, the game moved to the Chicago Bulls home court. The Sky designated that matchup as their Shy Neighborhoods theme game. Full details have not been yet.
But the tragic irony of this entire situation doesn't end in Chicago. While the Chicago Sky reportedly sacrificed pride, locker room morale, and organizational loyalty for revenue, Team USA went in a complete opposite direction, and it backfired in a spectacular way. If Chicago's decisions were driven by corporate greed, then Team USA's Olympic roster decisions appeared to be driven by arrogance. When it came time to build the Olympic roster for the Paris Games, the selection committee had a massive opportunity in front of them. They had the chance to include the biggest draw in women's basketball, a player who was bringing millions of new viewers to the sport, and use the Olympics as a platform to globalize women's basketball like never before. Instead, they left that opportunity on the table and kept the most talked about player in the country off the roster. The public explanations focus on roster fit, veteran leadership, and the physical nature of international play. But many observers saw those explanations as corporate double talk mixed with traditional gatekeeping. Critics argue that the decision reflected the old hierarchy of the sport, where established veterans wanted to maintain the traditional order and believed the Team USA brand was bigger than any single player. What followed became a harsh lesson in modern sports economics. In today's media environment, star power, audience attention, and global visibility can be just as important as tradition and internal hierarchy.
At the camp. Now, there has been a noticeable drop-off in the engagement, the viewership, and everything associated with Women's Team USA since Caitlin Clark is not at camp.
The selection committee seemed to believe that fans would tune in out of patriotic loyalty no matter what, but they badly underestimated the modern sports audience. Fans didn't just disagree with the decision to leave Caitlin Clark off the roster, they responded by simply not watching. The casual audience, the same millions of new fans who had brought attention, money, and relevance to women's basketball over the previous 2 years, looked at a Team USA roster without the sport's biggest star and lost interest. As a result, viewership for the exhibition games leading up to the Olympics dropped dramatically, producing historically low and embarrassing rating for a team that is supposed to represent the highest level of basketball excellence. It became a very public and very costly lesson. The selection committee appeared to realize too late that the new generation of sports fans is not primarily loyal to a league logo or even a national team brand. They are loyal to superstar players. In today's sports entertainment world, star power drives attention. When the main attraction is missing, the audience often disappears as well. In trying to protect tradition, hierarchy, and veteran status, the decision makers may have sacrificed millions of viewers, global exposure, and significant revenue. or to send a message about patience and paying dues.
It's, you know, the whole, it's all of us, not one person. No, it's not. No, it's not, man. People aren't even paying attention to this Team USA stuff like they were when Caitlin Clark was there. And that, it just goes to show you, who drives the interest and the just everything for women's basketball.
We are witnessing a historic turning point in real time as the WNBA struggles to handle the massive wave of attention brought by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So far, the people in charge seem to be handling it poorly, and we are seeing the worst possible outcomes from different directions. On one side, the Chicago Sky appear to have prioritized short-term profits and business opportunities, potentially disrespecting their own star player in the process. On the other side, Team USA made decisions that may have protected tradition and hierarchy but ended up hurting viewership and alienating a large portion of new fans. Both organizations made mistakes, but for very different reasons. What has become clear through all of this drama is that the power in modern sports is shifting. It is no longer controlled entirely by owners in luxury suites or committees making decisions behind closed doors. The real power now belongs to the players who attract attention and the fans who decide what to watch, what to support, and where the money flows. Fans vote with their time, their wallets, and their attention. Players like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are not just athletes anymore. They are driving the business, the media coverage, and the future direction of the sport. The old system is changing fast, and this new era of sports is far more driven by star power, audience engagement, and business realities than ever before.